Hell yeah. By the way, the title to that story is also a lyric in a song from the Mountain Goats this year. They're playing at White Oak later this month. I'm just saying we could all be living our lives together. I don't know why I'm pitching the Mountain Goats, though, when literally 2 doors down we got Horny Tonk playing. So we could all literally go have a musical experience together right now after this next story. But because we only have one story left, this is really the opportunity to say, personally, I am just so thankful that we have a new home here at the Continental Club. It's lovely to be here. I'm thankful we have a new member on our production staff, Amanda. Right? Oh my God. But I would like to take this chance to just raise a glass to 1 year here, many more to come, and thank you, Continental Club, thank you, Alan, and thank you, Emily, and cheers. Woo! All right. Trojans, things we need. Okay, Trojans. This is our last story, and we're going to leave you with a treat. I just know it. Trojans, written by Astrid and read by Sarah.
All right, everyone, prepare your bodies for the Trojans. I had 500 Trojan Magnum ribbed condoms in Coca-Cola flavor and 600 packs of neat body hair removal cream. I was raring to go. In 2002, the Houston Gay Pride Parade still went down Westheimer back then, with 8.5-foot wide Miro disco ball at the center of Westheimer and Montrose by the Stop and Go. I worked part-time for a promotion event company. Usually that meant 10-hour days inside a grocery store or a Walmart, asking shoppers to take their photos with a giant Snuggles teddy bear while spouting useless information about fabric softener and dryer sheets. We were routinely spied upon by higher-ups in the company to make sure we never sat down. When the gig at the Pride Parade was assigned to me, I was over the moon. We were to hand out condoms and neat hair removal packets, yes, and required to spout more useless information. But we would be walking through the crowd up and down Westheimer during the parade, which meant that it would be impossible to spy on us, especially when night fell. I would be able to sit down for a spell, catch beads, see the parade in all its fabulousness, be among my fellow wild ones, and celebrate acceptance. I was still reeling in recovery from that brain tumor mentioned in last month's grown-up story time. I was reeling from so many other surreal things. Big, bad, surreal things that had happened in previous few years that were outside the norm of what people were supposed to go through in life. And I hadn't had any of the normal things. Stable jobs, stable relationships, stable housing. I had just started making artsy shit and selling it, my heart in my mouth every time I showed it to someone. Everything I made was self-taught, a discovery. I found old windows and shower doors from houses being torn down and would create designs on them with glass paint. I went to thrift stores all over Houston, taking apart old, ugly lamps and making psychedelic ones using spray paint, holographic embossed powder, metal candle holders, and vintage meat slicer attachments. I had no idea what I was doing, but could no longer stifle the urge to make what I saw in my head. I also figured, due to everything that had happened in the last 5 years, that I didn't have a whole lot of time left. If my depression and self-destructiveness didn't take me out, my apparent bad luck, 2 cars totaled by other drivers, another tumor, malignant this time, that grew in my uterus alongside an unplanned pregnancy I'd had to abort, a carjacking, and sexual assault at gunpoint by a stranger who I barely escaped from. Yeah, I had no doubt my apparent bad luck would take me out pronto. Y'all, it was a lot. I felt more like me in Montrose than anywhere else. I felt accepted as the imperfect, weird being I was in places like Numbers, Club Sum, and Riches. I was able to move freely with the music, dance by myself if I wanted, see the sun come up, and catch a glimpse of beauty in a bleary sky. And I was around others whose existence was also constrained. In 2002, homosexual conduct in Texas was still a crime. The Gay Pride Parade then meant more than throwing confetti. In 2001, for the first time, a Houston mayor had joined the parade. An estimated 100,000 people had lined both sides of Westheimer, from the giant disco ball at the Stop and Go down to Shepherd Drive. The 2002 parade felt like it could be an even bigger wave-bringing change. So I was excited to be there. I had a tsunami of Trojans and neat to get rid of, though. We were told that nothing could remain. The corporate marketing team made one hell of an error for their product placement and saturation. Think about it. As a heterosexual teen susceptible to messages about female beauty, I'd used NEAT on my legs. Until I discovered razors and later body positivity. But impressionable heterosexual women were not the majority of the Pride attendees. We were told to offer the products to everyone, and we did. Nobody wanted free packets of NEAT. And the ribbed Magnum Coca-Cola flavored condoms? Again, huge error. The overwhelming majority of gay men in attendance that I asked refused. Some clearly insulted, saying that they were in stable, trusting relationships. They didn't appreciate their corporate characterization as free-swinging, disease-carrying sluts. Some didn't like Coca-Cola. Yeah. The lesbian attendees provided poetic commentary on the Magnum ribbed excitement, asked why, I asked if they wanted them, and occasionally jokingly wondered about their utility as dental dams. The crowd grew to 100,000 or more, and the parade was about to get into full swing. I still had my baskets full and had already had 7 street blocks worth of rejections. I ducked down Mandel and Hawthorne, hoping to find a residential trash can to dump them into. And that's when I saw the floats. That's where they were parked in preparation. I wandered up close, thrilled at being able to see them, noticed their details, as if it was a glimpse behind the curtain. At the third one, a woman noticed me, laughing as she shouted, "What you got there?" Feeling foolish, I held up my baskets. She laughed again and jumped down to inspect them. You know how sometimes you have the best conversations with someone sitting next to you on an airplane? That's what this felt like. On this side street with 100,000 people a block away, with this person who I didn't know, but who was about to go out there and celebrate hope and defiance, and who asked me how I was doing. I don't know what to do with all this, I said. And even though I was gesturing toward the baskets, I think I meant more than that. I think I meant everything, all of it. I was feeling despair, more despair than seemed logical in that moment, like it all caught up to me at once, like I was failing at everything that I was supposed to be able to do, like nothing was going to let me live. And I couldn't understand why or what to do. She looked at me for a long moment. I know what you mean, she said, and paused. Don't worry, she cried. Give me as many of those as you want. We'll throw them from the float. Here, have some beads. Y'all, my heart soared. I stammered my thanks, felt tears in my eyes. That moment, I think she knew. I wandered back to the parade, arms no longer strained by the baskets, relieved. My supervisor, suspicious, asked me if I distributed them or dumped them. Distributed, I declared, feeling the glares from my colleagues, and then sashayed off to join the exuberant crowd. I caught 3 of those condoms when their float went by. I still have one unwrapped, off in a drawer to this day. Thank you.
Like everything, we've learned this already this evening, like everything, we must end. However, we will be back here next month, 3rd Tuesday. It's what we do. Follow us on Instagram. That's one of the best ways to figure out what it is we're doing if we have a workshop, which could still happen this year, could still happen. But again, just send your stories in. Let us know if you want to read. Come introduce yourself to us. We haven't already met you. Definitely close out your tabs and tip your bartender. And then we will see you over at Horny Tonk, Big Top. It's 2 doors down. So cheers, y'all. Happy Grown Up Story Time. Woo!